What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality Podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenneth Smith. And today on our episode, we're going to be talking about the secret to fat loss, body composition, improved health, longevity, something that can literally do all of these things for you. And it's one thing. And I hate saying the secret because so many people are looking for that secret when it comes to helping them reach their health and their fitness goal, get all of the success that they want in life, build incredible lives. They want the secret sauce. There are no secrets. It's just hard work, consistent effort, and doing the right things that are going to take you from point A to point B. Generally, it's very simple. It's not necessarily easy to execute because you start to question yourself. You lack belief. You start to doubt your ability. You question, is this the right path? Should I be doing more? Should I be doing less? But the truth is, this is actually the not so secret. And it's in the title, so you already know what it is, but it's muscle. And it's about building muscle and how building muscle, I truly believe, is the biggest thing that will impact your overall quality of life, your health, your happiness, and even your success. And I'll get into that more towards the end of the podcast. I'm kind of going to finish up with that. But I had a couple topics come into my mind that I wanted to talk about over this last morning. So it's mid-afternoon. I'm recording this podcast. And up until this point, I've had a couple of client calls throughout the day. So for those of you who don't know, I work full-time as a coach, as an online fitness, nutrition, mindset coach for an incredible company called Hidden Summit. You'll see this little coffee mug, Hidden Summit. I've been in this industry for over a decade. I started as a personal trainer when I was 18. I worked my way up in the gyms to become a fitness manager, sales manager, general manager. And when the gym shut down in 2020 for fun things, for manipulation, we'll say. When the gym shut down, it gave me an opportunity to say, well, what am I going to do with my life? Because at that point in my life, I was extremely unhappy. And I didn't want to be where I was anymore. I started to realize that the things that I thought that I wanted, managing a gym, building my career in that company, it wasn't necessarily what I actually wanted. And I feel like a lot of us can relate to that, right? We work really hard at trying to get to something, and then we get there, and we realize that that wasn't the thing that was going to make us happy. Because the truth is, we create our own happiness. So this is all going to relate back to each other, so just keep listening or just keep watching, whatever you're doing. The thing is, I work with a lot of people on a weekly basis. I speak to a lot of people face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom on a daily basis. That's what I do all day long. I am on Zoom calls. I create content for you guys to help more people. And then I work on my training, my recovery, my nutrition for my own athletic goals, as well as obviously spend time with my husband, who is my world. And I say that because a lot of the topics that I get for this podcast, a lot of the topics that I get from my newsletter, from my posts on social media, I get them from client conversations because that's real world shit. All right. I love knowledge. I love education. I love research. I do it every single day to help me become a better coach for my people. Also because I'm a nerd and I just generally love it. But you can have all of the knowledge in the world. You can be the most researched person out there. And I see this a lot on social media where there are people who just spout out study after study after study, but then they have no personal experience working with people to actually put that behind the research. And what I mean by that is that so many people spout off this research, but they don't take into account like the human habits and behaviors that actually go into that person executing on those things. So while it's nice to say this is the perfect diet or this is the perfect game plan to get somebody to their fitness and nutrition goals, that's nice. But have you ever worked with a human being and known that they're probably not going to just eat chicken breast all the fucking day long? They might need something else to help them. So I was having a couple of client conversations. One of them was last night. One of them was this morning. Because I respect my clients and I haven't told them that I'm going to mention these things that we spoke about on this podcast because it was kind of impromptu. I'm not going to present their names. I'm not going to say any of that. But what I want you to understand from this is that you should always seek more. You should never settle for a diagnosis from a doctor. Now, I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to play one on the internet. Never. A lot of people like to do that, but I never will because I don't know everything. And I'm not going to be naive and say that I know more than somebody else. What I need you to understand is for yourself, for your own health, for your own quality of life, you should always seek more information. You should always seek a second opinion. You should always look further into what more can I do before taking on this drug or taking on this prescription that this doctor wrote for me that I saw for 10 minutes. I get it. Doctors don't have a lot of time. They have a lot of turnover. They need to go in and out of each appointment. So it's really hard for them to really get a good grip on what exactly is going on with you from one conversation or even from a few conversations because you are a human being. You're a very complex being and your body is very complex. So for somebody to say, hey, take this medication, it will help you, but then fail to tell them that they shouldn't be on this medication for more than a month or two, and then continue to refill and continue to prescribe it to the point where the client is now suffering with so many horrible side effects from this medication and is just in a bad spot physically and emotionally because of it. And I say all of this because I've seen it so many times in my career, but literally back to back. Last night, my final call. Today, my first call. And I hate seeing it because I truly care about these people. And they're doing so much work to be able to improve their lifestyle. And then this happens. And that's, it's okay. We make mistakes. But I truly believe, not just through my own personal experience working with people, but also working with myself. I have a severe autoimmune condition known as IgA deficiency. I won't get into the nitty-gritty of it because a lot of people are like, I've never heard of that. Basically, I don't have the hemoglobin IgA in my blood. It plays an impact on digestion, mucus production, no TMI. So I get a lot of sinus infections. I've had a lot of terrible gut issues in my past. So I get what it's like to feel like there's no other options, but I'm a true believer, again, through my own personal experience, through helping clients, through my own research, that nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, hydration, lifestyle, that's the best form of medicine. Now, I'm not stupid and ignorant. Western medicine, antibiotics, have been an incredible thing in certain situations. When somebody is literally dying of an infection and there is nothing else that can be done, medication should probably be used to make that person better. However, if somebody's a little sad because they're going through a tough time in their life, or they're suffering from a little bit of inflammation, don't you think that instead of just writing them a prescription and sending them on their way, we could try to say, hey, what does your diet look like? How much water are you drinking? How much sleep are you getting? Are you doing anything to manage your stress on a daily basis? Because the majority of Americans have a shitty diet. They're eating a lot of processed foods that cause a lot of excessive inflammation. We're not eating enough antioxidants, produce, animal proteins, omega-3 rich foods that help reduce inflammation. We're not moving enough. Most people aren't undergoing any form of strength training, and they're just getting weaker and weaker. And those things impact those things. Those things impact inflammation. They impact how you feel, how your body responds to things. Even down to sleep and stress management. Those are a lot of things that if somebody has their nutrition and their training dialed in, but they don't pay attention to their sleep or their stress management, they're still not going to see the results that they want, and they're not going to feel as good as they can. So maybe if you're a little depressed, if you're anxious, if you're struggling with your health in any way, shape, or form, maybe you take a step back and you ask yourself honestly, is there anything that I can do from a lifestyle perspective first before I just take this pill? I get it, the pill is easy, but the pill comes with side effects. The lifestyle, it doesn't really come with side effects that are negative. I'll be honest with you. There are a lot of great things that come with that lifestyle. So think about that. And that kind of goes into the second point that I wanted to make. But actually first, before I finish off that point, because now I'm rambling at this point, but not really, because I feel like these are things that need to be heard. And I feel like a lot of people just don't think about it. The reason why the pill is more glamorous and is pushed so much more is because the pill earns money for the people who are giving you the pill. Lifestyle doesn't sell. Lifestyle doesn't make money. Sorry, Big Pharma, but that's just how it is. Again, there's a lot that can be said about these things, but this is just what I've seen through my personal experience, helping clients research nutrition, movement, hydration, sleep, stress management. If those things are not in check and like solid, then you probably shouldn't be leaning on a pill. But again, there is that like 1% of the population who needs it. I understand that. But it's handed out like candy. And too many people don't understand how the long-term effects can play a role in your quality of life and your overall like future. And I'll use one more personal experience before I move on. When I had first been diagnosed with my autoimmune disease, it was when I was in my junior year of high school. It was a weird thing. And the more that I read about how autoimmunes come about, the more that it makes sense. I was in a very stressful environment in my home. It was when like a lot of the bullshit that was going on in my personal life was happening. Height of my dad's drug addiction. And I had just recently been, and it's going to kind of sound silly, but I had been cut from my high school chorus. I had been in my high school chorus for 3 years. I'm still salty about this. And in my senior year, like moving into my senior year, I was cut. Like, come on now. I get it. Other people probably deserved it more than I am. I get it. I understand that. But 3 years and then that? Come on. So I was a little stressed about that. It was really like butthurt about that. To the point where like I'm 28 years old and I still talk about it on this podcast. I don't talk about it in life because I'm over it at that point. But it stressed me the fuck out. It really upset me. Put me in a more stressed out state than I was. Also add in the fact that my diet was terrible. 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 I ate a lot of fast food. And one day, I thought I had food poisoning. That's how bad my stomach was. I was like, holy crap, I must have eaten something bad. And then it just never got better. And I was like that for 6 months. I lost 30 pounds because I couldn't eat. The only thing I could eat, and this is going to sound weird, was baguette bread and baked Lay's. I even tried to eat like oatmeal, an apple, any sort of protein. Fucked me up. And so they put me on this medication. I wish I could remember the name of it. But it's an acid blocker. So what it does is it reduces the amount of stomach acid that's in your body over time. And the reason why is because I kept going to doctors and they really didn't know what was wrong with me. They kept telling me like, I don't know what's wrong with you. This is weird. Blood work. I don't know what's wrong with you. Your white blood cell count is kind of low. Nobody really knew what was going on with me. It wasn't until I went to a doctor at UNC Chapel Hill because I was in the emergency room because I couldn't keep anything down, where he said, hey, you know you don't have IgA in your blood? And it was like, I don't even know what that is. He explained it and it made a lot of sense. But originally I was put on this medication to reduce the amount of stomach acid in my body. Now what happens is your stomach acid is kind of there for a reason. It's there to help keep your stomach a safe environment, keep your body a safe environment. It kills bacteria. So what happens when we reduce stomach acid for too long? Bacteria begins to grow. And then it overgrows. And then you develop things like SIBO, which is small intestinal overgrowth of bacteria. And that can lead to a lot of inflammation and a lot of issues moving forward. Your gut health is really important. If your gut is compromised, the rest of your body is compromised. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. 90% of your body's serotonin production is in your gut. So there's a lot of things that are going on in your gut that are important for your health. I was put on this medication for 4 or 5 months. Now, if you look up how long you should be on these kinds of medications, It says 3 or 4 weeks, because after that it could cause issues. It was probably more difficult to get off of the medication because of the symptoms that I had weaning off of it than it was to not be on the medication. And just recently, knock on wood, because I've been working on it with my nutrition specifically, I've been taking a lot of different herbs, berberine, digestive enzymes, optigreens. I've been paying more attention to my gut, and I've really fixed it over the last year. And my life is significantly better. So if you're somebody who's accepting how they're feeling as normal because it's common, just because something is normal, just because something is common doesn't mean it's normal. Just because a doctor tells you, oh, this is common. It's common to have terrible menstrual cycle symptoms. It's common to be bloated all the time. It's common to have digestive issues. It's not normal. So seek more. Don't settle. Seek more. Lifestyle is a great place to start. Okay? Now, coming off of that, and really just shifting gears like really hard because transitions are difficult sometimes. It's raining outside today. Like really fucking raining. And I live in Florida. So it's not like this isn't a common thing. It rains a lot in Florida. However, actually we've had a little bit of a dry spell, which I'm a fan of because I kind of hate the rain. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I feel like you either hate it or you love it. And what I mean by love it is like, I like watching it from inside my house, and it kind of makes me feel warm and cozy and like I can have a lazy day. But I hate the rain. I fucking hate the rain to the point where years ago, before I ever did 75 hard, I used to use the rain as an excuse to why I can't go to the gym, why I can't do the things that I said I was going to do, why I can't go on a run or a walk, which is complete bullshit because at the end of the day, if I'm allowing rain, water, falling from the sky to get in the way of me pursuing my goals and keeping a commitment to myself, that's kind of a problem. But when I did 75 hard, for those of you who don't know, 75 hard, you have to do 2 workouts. One of them must be outdoors no matter what. So I would go out in the rain and I would be okay. So I just want to let you know that just because it's raining doesn't mean that you can't go on a run, go on a walk, keep the commitments that you made to yourself, because at the end of the day, it really is just water falling from the sky. Be safe. Don't tell me that I'm an idiot because you went outside in the rain and you got severely injured. Don't blame me. That was your decision. But it's raining. And I really hate the rain because of how it makes me feel. I get a little bit of that like depression from not having the sunshine out. I'm not a fan of it because it's like gloomy and dreary. But I was thinking about this morning. It's raining. The clouds are really gray. It's just depressing outside. But the sun is still there. You just can't see it. The sun is still shining. It's just behind the clouds. The sun is up, right? Because it's daytime. You just can't see it. And I think that's a really good analogy for life. This is how my mind works, okay? So bear with me. It's cloudy, it's dreary, it's depressing outside. You're having a really bad day. It's cloudy, it's dreary, it's depressing. The sun's still shining even on the rainiest days. It's just behind the clouds. Same thing in life. That sun is still there, that hope is still there. It's just behind the clouds. You're just having an off day. It's okay. You're allowed to have challenging days. However, what I find more often than not is that people take challenging moments or tough moments or testing moments, and they label that as to why they had a bad day. My coach says something really profound and very simple. No time for a bad day. No time for a bad day. Because, well, first of all, life is too short for you to be like, well, today was a bad day, so we're just going to throw it out the window. Okay. So that was one last day that you have on this earth, and you just deemed it as a bad day and you didn't enjoy yourself. How about we had a challenging moment in a day? That's what I like to think about, is like every day is a good day because every day I have an opportunity to do the things that I love, be with the people that I love. Are there challenging moments in each day? Fuck yeah, there are. If you're not being challenged in your days, I challenge you that you're probably not testing yourself or pushing yourself enough. But the reason why people who have so much adversity in their life and have so much challenge in their life can still put a smile on their face and do their own thing is because they're not focused on the challenge or the adversity. They're focused on the opportunity and the growth, and they create their own happiness. And the best way for you to do this is through gratitude. Because if you can recognize what you're grateful for in each day, and you can reflect on this at the end of your day, this is when I like to do it and when I recommend my clients to do it, is at the end of your day, when you're laying in bed, just kind of go through your head and think about, well, what was the best part of my day? Like, what am I most grateful for today? Or what are 2 or 3 things that I'm grateful for on this day? And it could be as simple as like, I'm fucking grateful for a good cup of coffee, or I'm really grateful for my family, or I'm really grateful for the fact that, my favorite podcast, the Powerhouse Mentality, came out with a new episode and I can watch it. Little things, right? Because when you can start ending your day with reflecting on the things that you're grateful for or the best part of your day, then over time, subconsciously, you start to look for those things throughout your day, and then you approach your day with a more positive and grateful mindset, with a mindset of abundance, looking for more, creating more, instead of a mindset of scarcity, which is where most people fall. And when you have a mindset of scarcity, you're always like, it's never enough, you're never happy enough, there's always more to be had, and there is always more to be had. You should never be complacent. You should allow that gratitude to inspire you to light a fire under your ass to go for more. Never be complacent, but also always be grateful, okay? And those are the 2 points that I wanted to bring forth before I get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, which is really focused on building muscle. And the reason why this topic is so fresh in my mind, there are 2 reasons. One, I just read a book by Dr. Gabrielle Lyons. Can't fucking remember the name of it, but it was one of the best books that I've read in a very long time. Forever Strong. It was one of the best books that I've read in a very long time. Forever Strong. There it is. Just left my mind for a second. I love Dr. Gabrielle Lyons. I've been following her for a really long time. If you don't follow Dr. Gabrielle Lyons, you should just follow her on Instagram, mainly for the comment section. She puts out so much great information, but the comment section on her posts from vegans and vegetarians is just, it'll just make you smile because it's hysterical. But she quoted muscle-centric medicine. She made that a thing because muscle is the organ of longevity. Most people, when they think about muscle, they think about bodybuilders, they think about getting strong, they think about lifting a lot of weights, which, yes, muscle does play a huge role in building muscle, getting stronger, improving your metabolism, meaning that the more muscle you have, the more calories that you're going to burn at rest, meaning that if I have more muscle than somebody else who's sitting right next to me, I'm just sitting here doing nothing, and they're sitting there doing nothing, but I'm burning more calories, which is a win, because then I can eat more food and sustain my results. Most people are focused on not building muscle, but are focused on becoming smaller, losing weight. And that's just because that's what society has kind of taught us. Like, if you go on any magazine or if you go through any type of program when it comes to fitness and nutrition, a lot of it, up until now, where it's kind of making a shift, has been focused on, okay, eat less, move more. It makes sense. If you move more, you'll burn more calories. So if I go and I do an hour on the treadmill, I'm going to burn more calories. And if I eat less, then I'll take in less calories, meaning I'll lose weight, which it will happen. You will lose weight for a short period of time. But your body is an incredible machine. It's an adaptation machine. Your body is going to adapt to that 60 minutes of cardio over time, which means that 60 minutes of cardio where you burned, 500 calories on day 1, you're now burning 300 calories on day 20 because your body's more efficient at that movement because your body is an adaptation machine and it wants to keep you surviving and it wants to keep you thriving. And then over time, you eat less and less. Your body has nutrient deficiencies. You're probably not eating enough protein. And the reality of it is, from a habits and behavior standpoint, if I'm eating less and less and less, over time, it just becomes really difficult to maintain that. And then you get into this cycle where you increase your movement, you decrease your calories, and you can do that for 2 or 3 weeks before you're absolutely miserable, and that case of cookies, those Oreos, are screaming at you, so you just have one. But everybody knows that most people can't just have one Oreo. So you have an entire sleeve. And then you say, well, shit, I guess I fucked up. I'll get back to it on Monday. And then you don't. Because that's just how it is. But then you start to question your belief and your confidence in yourself. Because you keep messing this up. So there must be something wrong with you, right? Wrong. There's just something wrong with your approach. And it's an easy fix. It's a simple fix. Nothing's ever easy. It's always very simple, though. It's usually much more simple than we like to make it. Usually, because we're humans, we like to overthink and overcomplicate everything. And this is where people do it the most when it comes to health and fitness. If you were to focus not on losing weight and getting smaller, but instead focus on building muscle and getting stronger, I bet you're going to see better results. You're going to get the body that you want when you focus on building muscle and getting stronger versus eating less, moving more, and getting smaller and losing weight. I can almost guarantee that. Building muscle literally improves your metabolism. Like I said, it's going to improve the amount of calories that you burn at rest. It's going to improve your body composition. It's also going to improve your health markers. And this is where a lot of people don't think about it, is that muscle allows you to be more insulin sensitive, meaning that you're going to be able to utilize carbohydrates as fuel more effectively versus storing them as fat, which is what happens when you become insulin resistant. And when you become insulin resistant, that's when you really start to put on a lot of body fat. That's when disease can happen. That's when diabetes occurs. And that's when inflammation and stress happen. And when there's an excessive amount of stress and inflammation on the body, good luck trying to reach any sort of a fitness goal. Your body is designed to keep you alive and to keep you thriving. So if it's under stress and inflammation, it's not going to work. Muscle can help to reduce inflammation. Body fat, think of it, in excess, you need some body fat, but in excess, body fat creates inflammation, where muscle helps to reverse that. So, if you have more muscle, not only will you burn more calories at rest, but you'll probably have less inflammation, you'll be more insulin sensitive, so you'll be able to utilize carbohydrates more effectively, which is great because carbohydrates are delicious. But also, on top of that, it can help improve your joint strength, your joint stability, mobility, help improve joints, tendons, ligaments, because they're all surrounded by muscles. If you have knee pain and you worked on improving the strength in your quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, in those muscles, you're probably going to have less knee pain. But I think one of the biggest things people don't think about is cognitive function, is immune system function. All of these things get improved with the more muscle you have and the more protein that you intake. So if you're deficient in protein, you're not eating enough protein, that also plays a role in these things because protein, the amino acids that it's made up of, actually help with anything that has to be rebuilt and restructured. So that's a lot of things in your body. Think about like rebuilding cells, think about rebuilding brain cells, neurons, all of these things. They need proteins. And from a personal standpoint, the biggest shift that I saw in my own fitness, in my own results, was when I stopped focusing on losing weight and I started focusing on getting stronger. Because I built muscle and my body composition changed. I burned more fat and I looked way leaner, even though I was a little bit heavier on the scale. And when it comes down to building muscle, we do that in 2 ways. Because I want to give you guys action steps that you can take today that are going to help to improve your life. That's what I'm all about. Right? I don't want to just throw information at you because anybody can do that. You can Google anything that you want, but how can we actually apply that information? So resistance training and protein intake. coupled together is going to help you build muscle. Now, that's oversimplification of the process. Obviously, recovery, hydration, sleep, those things play a huge role in the process, but here's where you can start. Resistance training 3 to 5 times a week. If you're resistance training 0 days a week, just doing 1 day a week and then building on that is going to be better than what you're doing now. So remember that. 3 to 5 times a week. It's kind of like that sweet spot for most people and what they can actually sustain. Protein intake, 1 gram per pound of your body weight every day. Or if you have over 60 pounds to lose, you can bring that down to about 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. So with resistance training, you're actually breaking muscle down during your workout. And then when you give your body the building blocks of muscle through that protein, through those amino acids in that protein, you're going to build that muscle back up, you're going to get stronger, and you're going to create change over time. Okay? So resistance training, protein intake, that's where you can start. And if you do that for 30 days, you're not going to see amazing results in only 30 days, but I promise you that you're going to feel a significant difference, not just in how you feel, your energy, all of those things, but also in how you look. You're going to start to be like, oh, fuck, okay. I feel good, I look good. I'm starting to build that confidence and building resiliency through just doing strength training, because you build discipline and resiliency by doing hard things, and strength training isn't easy. Now, here's where I can help you. So, at Hidden Summit, we are starting a 20-day fitness challenge. A fitness test. The word challenge is used way too much. We don't fucking like that word anymore. Test. So we're doing a 20-day fitness test. And it starts on Monday, December 4th. And we're kicking it off actually with a free live training where we're going to break down the importance of certain factors of resistance training, like what resistance training is, what's progressive overload, rep ranges, explaining intensity. We want to not just give you workouts, but we want to teach you how to train with proper intensity so that you can actually earn results and build the habits and behaviors behind sustaining those results. Anybody can just throw you a challenge, but that's not what we're about here. So we're doing this 20-day fitness test with the intent to help you stay on track during the holiday seasons, if not maintain, but maybe even get better, because we know that you can enjoy the holidays and still earn results. You don't have to be that person who's like, it's the holidays, I'm gonna take it easy, because most people are gonna be taking it easy for the next 20 days. Why don't you be different? Because I'm assuming that if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this podcast, that you're somebody who takes action and wants to improve their life. So this is a great opportunity for you to do just that, because like I said, I truly believe that building muscle, building strength is the true secret to healthier, happier, more successful life. So if you want to join us with this 20-day fitness test, I'm going to put all of the details, the link down below for you to sign up. And if you use the code SANTA, you're actually going to get $20 off. So it's only going to be $9.99 to join. And we're going to kick it off, like I said, with a webinar on Monday night. So I hope to see you on that webinar, because it's going to be really fucking informative, and just being a part of this community and learning and seeing all of the people who are also on that journey with you. It's pretty inspiring. That's one of the best parts about Hidden Summit is the community. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast. I hope that you learned something from it. And if you did, if you found value from this episode of the podcast, please share it with at least one person. Share it on your social media. Tag me. I love seeing how many people are tagging me in their like Spotify end of year and showing me that they're like the top 4% listener or 8% listener. I fucking love it. Keep tagging me. I love it. But please go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.